One of our favorite places to visit when we're in Winston-Salem is a shop and museum called the Tattoo Archive. Owner Chuck Eldridge is one of the world's leading scholars of tattoos, and the archive is a great way to learn about this fascinating culture.
The reason people get tattooed are varied. Group identification, religious reasons, health reasons, simply body decoration. I mean, tattooing is one of the most ancient of art forms.
Dating back
to the cavemen.
Of that history, at least the last 150 years is now displayed in downtown Winston, thanks to the owners of the Tattoo Archive, C.W. Eldridge and Harriet Cohen.
We had a small version of this in Berkeley, California, but when we moved here in 2007, we got a big space, so we were able to exhibit a lot of his collection here.
C.W. is a native of Elkin, North Carolina. He joined the Navy and ended up in California. He began collecting tattoo memorabilia there in 1985, married Harriet, moved back to Winston, and opened the Tattoo Archive.
Well, you know, I jokingly describe it as the three-ring circus of tattooing. The bookstore, the museum, and the tattoo shop.
You're going to find everything from advertisements that were using tattoos, flash art that was drawn by people at the turn of the century all the way up to the present day. We have some tattoo machines. There's just a little bit of everything to show how tattooing is in our culture.
At the moment, we have one on female tattoo attractions, which were a big draw back in the golden age of the circus and the sideshow.
I mean, women chose in the 1920s and 1930s, the farm girls or whoever they were, that was a job, to get their complete body tattooed and join the sideshow.
The female attractions actually would be even paid more because they were a bigger draw. You can imagine some of these women in the 1800s with their kind of scanty costumes was quite a sensation.
I don't know that it was considered a classy way to earn a living, but that's what women did.
In addition to their exhibits, the Tattoo Archive has both online and on-site bookstores, where you can learn things like Thomas Edison's involvement in tattooing by creating a perforating pen, or that the mouths of some single Japanese women were tattooed with broad blue bands, similar to a mustache, as part of an ancient custom. And dogs were tattooed right along with their two-legged friends. Or that Oklahoma, the state with the longest history of body decoration and tattooing, was the last state to legalize the art form in 2006.
All the books are about tattoos, tattoo history. A lot of them are design books that artists would buy to sell tattoos. Chuck writes a lot of books on tattoo history from his collection. Both books of designs, what we call line drawings that tattooers could use, all from dead tattooers, you know, all from historical figures. And he writes a little bit of the history of their lives.
And I think that's really important. I mean, there's a lot of great tattooers that have passed, and my idea is to try to keep those people's names alive.
C.W. and Harriet are just as respectful to patrons who enter their store for no other reason than to enjoy their displays.
It's art. You know, we say to people come in here and they'll say, the first thing they'll say is, well, we don't want a tattoo. And we'll say, well, you know, you don't have to want to own a Picasso to want to look at one. You can enjoy. We like to make this place accessible to people who don't want a tattoo. Not everybody wants to be tattooed.
And that's what sets the Tattoo Archive apart from other facilities. It's not just about selling tattoos, it's about education.
A lot of people think tattooing started in the First World War or something like this. They don't really understand the history of tattoo. And so I think that we can kind of enlighten them a bit more that way.
The Tattoo Archive is at 618 West 4th Street in downtown Winston-Salem, and it's open daily from noon to 8 p.m. They're closed on Sundays. For more information, give them a call at 336 722-4422 or go online to tattooarchive.com.